Yes, sir. We are live. Welcome back to the Sick Podcast Anvil Show. Clyde will not be with us this evening, only because of the fact that he is currently en route to Germany, which we're going to talk about. We're also going to talk some more about the Sauce trade. We're now, a little bit more than 48 hours afterwards, so we're going to get some reactions. But we got some things to discuss tonight, so get your snacks, get your drinks ready, because we're about to get it in. Sammy, bring us in.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to The Sick Podcast. Anvil Show.
Intercepted! Marlon Jackson! Marlon's got it! We're going to the Super Bowl! We're going to the Super Bowl! Marlon Jackson with the interception! He picked off Tom Brady!
The sickest Indianapolis Colts podcast. It's gonna be sick.
Yes, sir, it is going to be sick. And what's even sicker is this word from our sponsors, new customers. This one's for you because Game On Week 10 starts now. And every touchdown brings you closer to a payout with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. This isn't just football. It's first touchdown fireworks, anytime touchdown rushes, and live bets that ride every momentum shift. At DraftKings, every play is your next shot to win. If you are new, once again, if you're a new customer, this one is for you. Bet just $5. When you bet $5, you get $300 in bonus bets instantly. So all it takes is $5 for you to get $300, so you can put money on your parlays. We're going to give you the bets for this weekend, though, so you just stay tuned for that. Plus, you grab over $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Your season starts now. When you download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code SICKSPORTS, that's SICKSPORTS, all caps, no spaces. That's code SICKSPORTS to get $300 in bonus bets instantly when you place your first bet of $5 or more, plus over $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, 21 and over, age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio.
All right, and Sammy, if you can give me that anvil since Clyde isn't here. Yes, sir, and we are back. Welcome back to the Sick Podcast Anvil Show. I am CJ, and I have with me
Patrick, Big P.
There we go, Patrick. Who's this Patrick fella you speak of? But yes, we are back. Welcome back. We got a couple things to discuss, but before we do, we got people already commenting. So Stacy, Meanie, and then we also got the people checking in on Facebook as well. If not, or a matter of fact, if you're in there, make sure that you're liking, commenting, hit that share button so that you're letting everybody know that your boys are live right now. But you know what? We're gonna go ahead and just get started, right? Because we know that we got some news about receiving a certain shutdown condiment on Tuesday when we got Sauce Gardner from the Jets.
He's a condiment now?
Yes, he's a condiment. He's a shutdown condiment. Yes, exactly.
That does not sound good. You might want to come up with a different one than that.
Now, listen, I've heard so many quips since Tuesday. I'm like, you know what? I need to just counteract it just by giving it something that's completely nonsensical. So that actually helps me get through that process. But we're now a little more than 48 hours after that trade happened. So now that we've had a chance to digest, kind of sit down, we understand the compensation, the draft picks involved, AD Mitchell being traded over. We also understand what the money looks like. How are we feeling now as opposed to the initial shock of what happened on Tuesday?
I'm not going to say shock. I'm going to say surprised.
Mm-hmm.
Shock, yeah, that's Yeah, I guess shock and surprise, but I'm still feeling great about it. Even after hearing all the talking heads talk about how we got fleeced, hearing how some of the people in the fan base were saying, "Oh, he gave away the future of our company or future of our franchise for a couple years." Da 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 this, da 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 that. But if you've seen the news, he's cleared concussion protocol and he's playing Sunday in Berlin.
Yes.
He's not taking no time off. They're throwing him right in there, which makes me extremely happy.
Yes.
You're right, Eric. Happy as should
Meanie
be.
beat you to it. Meanie beat you to it.
That absolutely should be my response. But this is the fun but aggravating part of what we do, Chris. Because we put ourselves in view for everybody to come after us. With our perspective, with our takes, where we don't really do that to other people.
Okay, I see.
So to listen to people say the future of our franchise for several years makes absolutely no sense to me. Because one, as well as we're playing, you're getting a bottom first round pick this year anyways.
Yeah, you're looking to be anywhere from maybe like that mid to late 20s potentially.
Yeah, 25
maybe even in the 30s.
25 to 32 is where we're going to land the way we're playing. And it's very possible it's 31, 32.
Yeah.
And I think it was you brought up how the core of this team is locked up, even for the next several years. So our first round pick for the next several years is going to be in that same lower part of that draft.
Yeah.
If you really wanted this kid in 22, when he entered the draft, he got drafted number 4 by the Jets. It would cost you a lot more to get this young man than 2 first if you went after him at the draft. So actually, we got a more battle-hardened player for less. That's the way I see it. We got a quarterback in Daniel Jones now, and it's evident that they really like this guy because we do too.
Yeah.
At first we didn't. That's why, my Twitter name's Colts Crow Eater, because he's been proving me wrong week in and week out. Last week against the Steelers, I didn't put that all on Daniel. That O-line was horrible. I don't care what kind of you are. If your guys aren't blocking and people are getting to you, you're done. It's going to be a long damn day. So I just don't understand the hatred towards it, because if Ballard and company hadn't done nothing up to the trade deadline, they would have been crying about that.
Yeah. No, that's 100%
Don't
right.
do something. I'm still going to cry. So I just wish people would look at it on more of a positive side, kind of like we do.
Yeah. And by the way, just welcome.
Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just going to say welcome into Teresa, Daniel, Nathan, Gloria, Josh. What's going on? Yeah, so welcome into everybody who's just coming in. But sorry about that. Go ahead.
No, I don't know. Yeah, if you're looking at things like we do to break them down, to put out information week out, you got to look at it mathematically, especially with the draft picks. If they weren't comfortable with that, with Daniel Jones being the quarterback and being able to re-sign him, I don't think they would they wouldn't have done the deal. But they got their quarterback. They got the core of this team locked in. And now you got a lockdown cornerback. But you're mad because we gave away 2 picks that probably wouldn't have turned into a whole lot anyways, depending on who's there, who's not there. your needs of the team, and all that good stuff. Just relax, enjoy the show, because that's what they're going to do. And this defense is fired up over this kid too.
Yeah.
You bring in one guy and you restart the fire in this defense. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
Come on. Quarterbacks are going to have a lot harder time getting rid of that ball because people aren't going to be open, which is going to give our front four, our front seven more time to get to that quarterback, because you've been crying about, we don't get enough sacks, but we get tons of pressure, but we don't get the sacks. Okay, now we're going to be able to get the sacks because of this move.
Yeah.
The probability of it is a lot higher anyways.
Yeah, and I think, like, especially when we're talking about, like, the sacks, right? Because, one of the problem areas, and this has kind of been a problem area for us over the last few years, is the fact that even if when you do get sacks, you're letting up third and longs a lot more than you should. And and I think now when you're looking at having another corner, I think that now you're taking away those opportunities for third and long, because you have guys who are going to be able to stick with who they need to stick with to make sure that you don't get those kind of conversions. So it's one of those things where the coverage now is going to make things it's going to make it as honest as possible on offenses, because now you can't just go into it just believing that, their third and long conversion percentage is not good, so we're just going to do that. But the thing is, like, if you have Sauce on your 1 and Ward on your 2 or vice versa, I don't know that you're just going to automatically just be comfortable just going and throwing at those boys, especially in that situation, because you know that there's a high chance that's going to end up being a turnover. So, I mean, it is, but then we also have Clyde in here. He says, Guten Abend. It's 1:25 a.m. in Germany, and he's wide awake currently. Woke up to the news Buck has a neck injury. So,
I did not see that.
Yeah, Buck has a neck injury. So he actually, they reported earlier that he's going to be out for this game.
Okay.
So, I mean, but we're going to get to that in a second. I just do want to kind of give that, like, because the one thing that I've been hearing, I think a lot of Colts fans, like, it was mixed reaction, but I see other fan bases, like, having things to say about that. Especially Titans fans. Titans fans have been trying to be a little bit vocal, and I think that's hilarious, because I think, like, we saw that they traded for L'Jarius Sneed, and that trade has not worked out. Like, I think right now he might be on IR. When he's not on IR, he's not really playing that well. And I think now you see that a team that already swept them for the last 2-3 years now has no, we swept them. This is the third year in a row that we swept them. They haven't beaten us since 2022, I believe.
All right, I'll take it.
Yeah, so like they're kind of reeling right now. I think it's been well over 1,000 days since they've beaten us. So, I think they have a lot of catching up to do. Thank you, Taylor. I'm also tired of hearing from Titans fans also, but I think fan bases are trying to find some way to make this trade seem like it's not going to work, when in reality everything works. Like, it literally makes it so that you have two alphas, where normally you might have an alpha CB1, and then you have a good CB1, but now you got one on each side. And we know that when Ward was playing, Ward was shutting it down. We know that now, like, Sauce is going to be able to play, and he's going to say, "What's going on, Colton? What's good?" Like, they're going to be a great tandem. And one thing that I've been talking about today, Kenny is going to be in the nickel. I believe he's going to be in the nickel full time. Those nickel blitzes, his coverage, that's going to allow him to just be all over the place in the best way possible. But also Jalen Jones, right? Because Jalen, He came in, held DK Metcalf to 6 yards. But let's be honest, he's going to find his way onto the field, especially when you have some of those dime packages. And I could absolutely see him covering the one spot that's been an issue for us, which has been tight end. Like we know who we have coming up at tight end. I don't know. Well, I don't think that they're going to experiment too much with it because we got to face Kyle Pitts this week. But I mean, you're going to go up against the Travis Kelce's. You're going to go up against the teams like what's going on, D? You're going to go up against Houston. You're going to go up against Jacksonville. You're going
Damn
to go
it,
up
Dean!
against the
Stop getting the
49ers.
chat all pissed off with your Patriots crap. I love you, and you're my brother, and you know it. But quit pissing the chat off. They're going to come after you.
But if we're being completely real, it's right now, like, I think this edition, even after 48 hours, like, I love the trade more now than I did before because when I'm thinking about it from a schematic standpoint, this makes the defense that much more deadly. And this is also going to give somebody like Latu a lot more opportunities.
Yep, absolutely. So, with Buck out, who are they going to put in there for him?
So my guess is it's going to be Grove, of course. But I think what they might do is you might see a lot more of Gallimore. But I think you're also going to see Adebaware in there as well. Because Adebaware has had some
real good.
He's had some really good, meaningful snaps. And I'm guessing that this thing that they're going to have happening in regards to the D line, they're going to find a way to work around that. I mean, I could see maybe them going probably 5 personnel on the line, where you might see Gallimore, Grove, and Adebaware on the line at the same time, just because of the fact that now it's just like you don't want to give them the opportunity to try to just be out there. Or they could just go 4 on that line, and then they could play a lot heavier when it comes down to the cornerbacks.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, Drake London, I see Sauce is probably going to be on Drake London. You're going to have Kenny out there who's going to be able to cover. And then you also have Jalen who's going to also be – I think Jalen might probably play even CB2 out there. But, like I said, I think the goal of this one is going to make sure that you make Michael Penix as uncomfortable as possible behind the line of scrimmage, and you try to limit Bijan as much as possible. I think Bijan is the one that you're focusing on, making sure that you're limiting as much as possible.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
I think Clyde ain't here to yell at me for yawning.
Yeah, absolutely not. Well, he's going to be in the comment section saying something about it soon. And what?
I'm sure he's typing right now.
Yeah, but also, and I think now, even moving from that to moving to Germany, that Buckner news today was surprising because, I mean, literally he was just in the video package where they were talking about like the Germany stuff. They were talking about him bringing like his CPAP machine or whatever it was. And now he's like, first it was just a neck injury, and then he's marked out completely. And this is on Thursday. So I don't know what happened, but this is, I don't know. It came out of nowhere. It's very, very surprising.
Yeah. Somebody asked how severe the injury was. I think it was Chris. I don't know. I'm just now finding out that Buckner's out for the game. I haven't seen any of the reports. I haven't been on my phone much. Putting up Christmas decorations before.
Christmas decorations before Thanksgiving? What kind of heathens are you?
This is the first year I've ever done it, and I'm happy I did it because I'm not getting frostbite putting my stuff out after Thanksgiving. Now my tree's not up, but outside decorations are.
Okay. All right. Well, you said okay. Outside decorations, I get that. But are you lighting them up yet, or are you just putting them up while it's a little bit warmer?
The lights are on.
Oh, buddy. Okay, yeah, you guys are working in reverse out there. All right. So, but like, so I think this week, like with Buckner out, I think it is going to present a like, I'm going to say a good challenge because now you have a team that generally is going to be trying to work through the flats. And a lot of what Bijan does is with the screens, it's going to be like working some of those, I'm going to say some of those in breaking routes. He also has times where he goes at wide receiver. So, I mean, I think we're gonna have to see how this works out because like I said, Buckner generates enough pressure on his own. Like I want to see if in lieu of him being absent, there's somebody who's going to step up. Like I believe Adebaware is absolutely going to be out there as much as possible. And I mean, honestly, that guy, like even for him to be 6'4", like 290, do sneaky fast.
Yeah.
So I just wonder like how they're going to do that. Like I said, between him and Gallimore, I think him and Gallimore have an opportunity to, I'm going to say, probably put up big numbers, but also to be able to make sure that they're slowing down that team. Oh, Lord. Meanie.
I know.
Time out, brother.
You're supposed to be mean to other people, not me.
Yeah.
Meanie's
But-
being mean to me.
But yeah, and like I said, and Kent said, and by the way, welcome Kent. He said, "Will we get a chance to see Adebaware?" And absolutely, I think we'll see Adebaware. I want to say that we'll also see what's the name? I think we'll also see a good amount of JTT, depending on what the looks are like, depending on what type of pressure they're doing. Like I think we'll get a chance to see both of them just in a very very high capacity. So,
And we're gonna have to too, because Bijan is probably their offense.
probably no, he is.
So what are you going to focus on? The main character, right? And that's Bijan. So they're going to have to stuff up that middle with whoever replaces Buck. And if they do one of those half-witted screens, or I call it half-witted, but the delay screen, because from what I've seen out of Atlanta, that's what they like to do with Bijan, make it look like he's staying in the backfield to block, and then he releases and they dump it off to him, and he always gets yards after catch. So you're going to have to spy this guy the entire time, regardless if it's in the pass game or if it's in the run game. You got to have eyeballs on him, and you got to stop him. Like you said, London, he's quite capable, but we got some serious cornerbacks now. I'm not worried about a passing game. Not worried one bit. Are they going to catch some? Absolutely. It's football. You don't stop every play. But I'm not worried about the passing game anymore. I'm more worried about that run game, especially with Buck being out. So, yeah, let's really spy the hell out of Bijan. Keep him contained. Keep him under, 80 yards. We'll be all right.
Yeah, I think if you focus, honestly, even if he gets some yards on the ground, I don't want him to have opportunities in the passing game. I think when it comes down to how they're going to cover, like how they're going to make sure those guys are covered, right? Because I think Sauce is going to be on London. I think he'll be able to do a good enough job, and I think when you have Mooney. Depending on Kyle Pitts, I think they actually might even throw a corner on Kyle Pitts just because of the fact that, I mean, he's a big target, but he'll present opportunities. And like I said, tight ends this year have eaten against this defense. Like we've seen it time and time again.
Yep.
So, I don't see them allowing I don't see them maybe allowing Kyle Pitts to get going. But Bijan, he always presents he presents a very interesting challenge because of the fact that he has that duality in the run and the catching game. Now, once again, the last time the Falcons beat us, they beat us by doing what? screens. We know that they were doing the screens. We know that they were trying to get like the short game going. And then if you give it to Bijan, especially with their design blocking, how they had their guys out there, he's going to be able to just run in between the blocks, and he's going to go and he's going to wiggle free and get loose. That's the reason why now I believe that if you plan for Bijan, or if you're game planning to make sure that you're taking Bijan out of it, I absolutely believe that that team is going to end up potentially being stagnant, because you have the ability to be able to potentially slow Bijan down, but then also be able to cover guys like Drake London. Bijan did nothing last week, but then Drake London went off, and they still ended up losing. They lost 24-23.
Yep.
And I do believe that we have a better defense than the Patriots do. So I think that we should be able to, I'm going to say, make sure that we're neutralizing those offensive threats.
I think so too. I think one of my keys is whoever it is you're going to put on Bijan, tell him that's your only responsibility.
Yeah.
That's it. I don't care if he does stay back in the backfield and block. You stand there and you watch this dude. You don't go after nobody else until the ball is released. When the ball is released, you're released from Bijan. Past that, you stand there and wait for that guy, and you follow every move he makes. Completely shut him out of this game. Kyle Pitts, yeah. Now, what I see happening, and I don't know if it's going to, but I can see Coach Lou bringing Cross in to help with the tight end situation.
Yeah.
You don't need two safeties back here anymore. Look at our cornerback. Look at our cornerback room. And this is what you get for spending the 2 first-round draft picks. You get this leeway to change things around this way. And typically, when you're safety and you're strong safety, you want them back there because your cornerbacks are weak. Somebody's catching the ball. You got to stop them somehow. This is not our case no more. Especially when Ward gets back. Oh, good Lord, the playbook's going to open up. But I can really see Lou bringing Cross down consistently, spying and hitting Pitts.
Yeah.
You know, just as precaution. You go man to man. I think we're good with their receivers versus our cornerbacks. I'm happy with that. The 2 offensive threats I see is Pitts and Bijan.
Yeah.
So let's lock them out.
Yeah, and that's all the more reason why, like, and let's go back to why that this trade once again is so important, because you have the flexibility defensively to be able to do whatever you need to make sure that if they have a running back that can give you fits like a Bijan, you can plan for that. If you know that you're going against, and I just use that as an example, we don't play them this year, but still, if you know that you're going against a Jamar Chase and a T. Higgins, you know that you have 2 guys who you trust will be able to just cover those guys and stay on them. Now, it doesn't mean that you're 100% going to shut people out, but it does make sure that you're mitigating a lot of that risk that comes with playing those top guys. Like, even going back this year, right? Like, we know what Xavier Howard did. I understand, like, he just, it was tough for him. But the thing is, imagine having a guy like Sauce, on Puka. Now, Puka's going to get his. But the thing is, I do feel like if you have Sauce Gardner, you can probably put him on Devontae Adams and then leave Ward on the island with Puka Nacua, because he's played against Puka since Puka came in the league in 2023. And he's played him twice a year because of the fact they were in the same division. So you got to look at that, like, how would he have changed some of those situations? And you look at it, you're just like, oh, he actually would have potentially been able to cover when we know that Howard was just in over his head.
Sammy, bring up Clyde's last comment, because he hits this on the head. There you go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right on the head, my brother. I don't know how many Heffenweisers he's had over there, but he's hit this one on the head. That's the thing. That's the thing we was talking about earlier, Chris. The flexibility Lou has now because you spent those 2-round draft picks. You can find these things out, or okay, say Cross ain't handling it. All right, bring Cross out and bring Jalen Jones in. And I see this scenario, especially against like Kansas City.
Yeah.
Where Travis Kelce always seems to get 800 damn yards a game for some reason. Like, do we not know this guy can catch? Why ain't you covering this guy? But actually bring a cover guy in to cover that big of a tight end. Will we have to do it against Kyle Pitts? I don't know. But if they drop Cross and he's not making it, boom, there you go. You've just fixed an issue. In game, the flexibility of this defense now is staggering.
Yeah.
It's mind-blowing, you guys. Just look at all the pieces we have and how they already call Lou the mad scientist. Get ready. This defense is going to be a blast.
Yeah. The defense I know right now is, like I said, and this defense had been doing well. I think, like I said, this past Steelers game I think it was just like a flash in the pan. But this is going to be an interesting, to Clyde's point, this is going to be an interesting test because, like, Nick Cross, if he really wants that contract, I believe he's 100% going to ball out for the rest of the year. And in this stretch of games that you're going to have where you're playing Falcons, Chiefs, Texans, Jags, Seahawks, Niners, Jags, Texans, you're going to see whether or not he's going to be up to that task because I think when you look at Nick Cross, you like him. You like that he can tackle. You like his speed. You like his intangibles. But it's going to be very hard to justify giving him a second deal if he still isn't doing the most simplest thing that he should be able to do at his position, and that's cover.
Yep.
Like,
I really like Nick Cross. I
do
hope,
too.
I hope he can stick around for another contract or two. But you got to prove your worth. Teresa made a comment that she feels bad for 80. Don't, Teresa. That kid's 23 years old and has made more money than all of us combined will ever see. I feel bad for the fan base that likes this kid and that he's now on another team. So when they make moves like that, that's who I feel bad for, is the fans that really like the kid.
Yeah.
I don't feel bad for him, and I wish him nothing but good, because I did like the kid and I still do. I still think he's a premier separator in this league his second year.
Yeah.
So he will be fine. He's going to make his money. He's going to get his catches. He's a young kid. He'll be all right. I just hate losing players, that you begin liking and you build a relationship with, and different things of that nature.
I think you only because it. Well, you know that you know the story when he was drafted, how they you kind of had that rumor about him and diabetes, and it's just like he ended up falling when you knew that he had first round talent, and then the fact that it just didn't pan out now. Like, the thing is, I'm not upset with him. Like, I'm not mad at him or anything. But what I will say is that it's very tough to see somebody giving, or I'm going to say somebody just being shipped out that early who, didn't get into kind of any type of criminal trouble or anything like that. It's just one of those things where it's just like he made like a big bonehead mistake and it seemed like he almost never recovered from it.
Seems like it, yeah. Seems like he's still in timeout.
Yeah. And so I think it will 100% benefit him to be somewhere else, because now you have a new opportunity. And I like Aaron Glenn from a person perspective, I don't mind him as a coach because I mean I know what he had to take on as far as that Jets team goes. But I like Aaron Glenn as a person because Aaron Glenn cares deeply, and I think he's going to be able to unlock that part of AD where he's going to make sure that he's working and he's doing what he needs to do, and he can minimize some of the boneheaded things.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
There you go. See,
and
Teresa, he's going to be fine.
yeah,
Don't feel
yeah.
bad for him. He's going to be fine.
I think Clyde pointed out that you didn't want him on the field anymore.
No, Teresa said that, not me.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, I know.
Hey, I'm
I
a
was just
man
trying to
that
start the fires.
I'm a man that's been given many second chances. I'll
Oh
never
yeah,
hold somebody down because of a mistake.
hmm absolutely.
I'll
And
get mad.
on,
I get shitty about it. Might hit punch a hole in my wall, but I won't hold it against them.
yep, yep. And you know what? And I think also, but I did see because you also see the difference in the reactions, right? Because even like JBC the other day, like when he spoke on it, he kind of spoke on it quickly, just like, wish him all the best, but it is what it is. And then Reggie spoke about it very, very passionately today. He was kind of vague because I think he didn't want to truly voice his opinion on it because it looked like he just really was upset about it.
Mhm.
Like, he talked about whenever a former player, especially one that's decorated like Reggie, whenever they say, it's not my call to make, it's just like, that's just the business, like stuff like that. That was something that they had no control over.
Yep. And you guys can remember too, Reggie's not your typical coach.
Mm-hmm.
Reggie's come up the old school way. He cares about these guys, deeply. So when a guy has to move on in a business decision, yeah, it's going to affect you emotionally.
Yeah.
That's just the kind of guy Reggie is. And if you've ever had any dealings with him, you see he sticks around, he signs, he talks. He's a man that actually cares about people. Especially ones that he finds in the draft, coaches up, builds relationships for a couple of years, and then boom, they're gone. That
Yeah.
can be tough. That can be tough.
Yeah. Yeah. And like I said, I think, the subtraction from the offensive side to like kind of go to the defensive side, I think that also just kind of throws some things in there. Like it makes it very, very tough to just outright just say, okay, that you're okay with it. Only because, like I said, it's a player that you just got last year. Like we literally got him in 2024 and then he's gone. And now it's like, oh, what the hell was that? You know? But I mean, one thing that I will do is I will go ahead. I'll do it again. I'll commit Ballard because this man literally fixed a room that had depleted down to damn near nothing in 2024, and in 2025 you have what looks like the best court, what looks to be the best secondary in the entire league. And I mean, like I said, I think I criticized him for not putting, I'm going to say, putting more emphasis on getting that room solidified, and rightfully so, because we went into it last year. We were hoping on Juju to be able to do what he needed to do. We were hoping that Jalen Jones would take a step up, and then of course, you had Kenny, who was the solidified veteran, who was an inside nickel corner, kind of playing more outside, and then you had Dallas Flowers and Daryl Baker Jr. And now you have Kenny playing in his natural spot. You have two alpha cornerback ones, and then you have Jalen, who you can just put wherever, because if you play a dime package, that's going to be a lockdown. But then on top of that, you have depth behind those guys where that even if one of those guys doesn't go, that there will be some type of support that will make sure that there won't be a significant drop off in coverage. So it 100% is it's like I said, it's refreshing to see that. And it's also refreshing to give away those first round picks. And I say refreshing to give away the first round picks because let's be honest, if those picks are as late in the draft as we believe they're going to be, best believe Chris Ballard more than likely would trade down. The last time that he had a pick that was that late in the draft, I think the latest pick that he had was the pick where he traded out of the first round to get Rock Ya-Sin.
That's a good point that I didn't even think about. Absolutely. Yeah. So if you're worried about that, just that first round pick, come on, man.
Yeah.
And you're probably 100% right. If we're sitting at, 25, 26 and lower, yeah, he's trading that out, getting more capital. You have more capital, you have a higher possibility of hitting the home run.
Yeah. And I think
it's a numbers game.
Yeah, and I think somebody posted it in one of our group chats. I don't know what legitimacy there is. Oh yeah, hey, by the way, shout out to our boy Dropstep, big University of Florida fan. So yeah, but like I said, I think what's going to be the case, and like I said, I don't know if this was true, but like I said, there was something that was posted where I think. Like it really came down to like Carly kind of talking to Chris about what they were gonna do, and Carly kind of speaking from a point of, is this move gonna be a Band-Aid or is this gonna fix it long term? And then I think the answer to that, once you realize that it's gonna be a long term fix, then Carly's talking about yes, get it done, because I think like especially right now. I know that, of course, Chris is the GM, so he's the one making the deals, making the moves, talking the numbers. But I have no doubt in my mind that Carly is making Chris be uncomfortable in the way that he goes about his process, because she knows that there are ways that you can fix certain things on this team. And I think that there's been a lot of times where Chris maybe just wanted to kind of buck that trend a little bit so that he can go ahead and say, all right, yeah, I don't want to be too hasty with some of the moves, because a lot of what's been happening is very uncharacteristic of him in that manner.
Yep.
Like we haven't seen him go this hard to fix the secondary ever. Like he got Gilmore once. And he got rid of him to get a 5th round pick. And that 5th round pick.
That was, Gilmore asked for a trade.
Yeah, well, he asked for a trade.
Season that we had, and he honored it.
Yeah. But and I think that's all the more reason why. And to that note, I'm going to ask you this, Pat. On our O-line right now, how many first round picks are there?
None. No, one. Quentin Nelson.
One. Right? This O-line right now is top 5 with only one O-lineman being a first rounder. Look at our wide receiver core. 0 first rounders. Look at our running backs. 0 first rounders. Look at the only first rounders that you have on the entire offense other than O-line is going to be Daniel Jones, and he was a first rounder for New York, and Tyler Warren, who they just drafted last year. This team, and this is what I'm going to absolutely 100%
in defense, Buck is the only one he gave up that number 1 for.
Yes, and Latu's
now Latu and now Sauce.
Yeah, but the thing is, that's a
Quiddy Pay. God, I got to go back. I got to.
Quiddy Pay was the first. Yep.
There's a lot more than I thought. Quiddy, Buck, Latu.
But I'm talking about like first round picks that he drafted himself.
Okay.
Latu and Quiddy. That's it. So
well, would you put Buck in there because he traded that
no,
first round
because we didn't draft him. Like he gave up the first, and I see where you're coming from, but no, he traded for him. And I say all this to say that you look at the people that he either acquired on this team or that he himself drafted. we never question his ability to draft O-line ever. Because, like I said, O-line, I think he can draft. He can probably take numerous fifth, sixth, and seventh round picks, and he'd probably still be able to put together a pretty damn good O-line. But I say all this to say those first round picks mean squat to somebody who legitimately makes their bread and butter in those later rounds, in those 2 through 5 rounds, even in the 6th round, 7th round. Like right now, you acquired Ward and you acquired Sauce. Kenny was undrafted and you got him off of a practice squad, and Jalen Jones was a 7th round pick. Jalen Jones just shut down DK Metcalf this past Sunday as a 7th round pick. So for me, I'm very much of that mindset that you traded those first round picks to the Jets, and when you go into this draft coming up, and especially when you go into free agency, because now when you go into free agency, you become a destination that has the quarterback, has the offense, has the defense. And if you're being sought out by this team, but let's just say their asking price is $15 million, and you say, well, we got some other guys we need to sign. We can potentially give you 11, push some money down the line. I do have a feeling that quality guys or quality players are going to want to come to this team because of the fact that you want to be able to be that missing piece to maximize not only your own potential, but get yourself that much closer to hoisting a Lombardi.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, like I said,
I seen a meme where it said, Sauce went to bed 1-7, woke up 7-2. I was like, yep, that's not a bad deal right there, is it?
Yes, and let's be real about that too, because one of the things that Sauce also said in his presser, I believe it was today, was the fact that he knew that there was potentially going to be a trade coming, and he wanted to go to a team that was competing. He didn't want to go to a losing team. And so the fact that not only is he going to a team that's not just in a window to compete, because I feel like this isn't just like a 2-year window where you're just trying to compete. I think with how this team is set up right now, with the framework of the team, with how everything is structured, this team is going to potentially have the opportunity to be competing 3-4 years, down the line, especially with how the cap is going to continue to increase and how we'll be able to have not just guys who are, elite guys in the secondary, but you also have guys that are coming up as well. So this is going to be a very, very advantageous team moving forward that isn't going to have money troubles by any stretch of the imagination. Daniel Jones is going to get his money this year. Don't get me wrong at all. But I think you also can kind of sell him on the opportunity to say, we know that the market is this, but we also know that we want to bring back X, Y, and Z. Would you be able to go ahead and take this? Because you understand you're playing in a system, you're playing behind this O-line, and you have this. Because ultimately, I'm not saying it like in a way where I'm like, you're going to go out there and give somebody an ultimatum, but I'm going to tell you, what does the landscape look like for you as a player? Are you going to go and say, okay, take this 4-year, $160 million with us? Or are you potentially going to go to the Cleveland Browns maybe for $45 million a year over 4 years, knowing damn well that O-line is going to absolutely get him completely messed
Killed.
Up. It's the only thing that's saving you is the fact that Myles Garrett is on your team. But I mean, even so, like, you see how he's able to play. He's leading the league in yards right now, even after a bad game. And even with the O-line playing as bad as it was, our O-line played bad on Sunday. Our O-line played on Sunday the way that the Giants O-line played for his entire career. And I'm sure that he does not ever want to go back to anything like that. So I think we're going to end up seeing he's going to get a lot. I think that he's still going to get his money. I think that he's going to take a team-friendly deal because I think the Giants just paid him out like the last little bit of what they needed to pay him. But I think we're going to end up getting him on a pretty good deal again.
I think so. I think they'll be slick with the numbers. He'll get what he needs, get what he wants, and there'll still be room.
Absolutely. By the way, welcome in Luis, welcome in Chris, welcome in everybody. Like I said, because you know what?
No, we're not welcoming Luis. He said I'm half asleep. Luis, you're crazy.
Yeah, knock it off.
I'm almost 80% sleep. I'm not half.
Yes, absolutely.
You know, I had dinner. I had dinner at 4.
Yeah, you have no. It's not dinner when you have it at 4. It's supper when you have it at 4.
Dinner, supper.
Hey, by the way, I'm glad that everybody's here. I'm glad everybody's here because that brings me to my favorite Thursday segment, Sick Picks.
It's time for Sick Picks. Brought to you by DraftKings. The crown is yours.
All right. So Clyde actually put his in the chat. He said his sick pick of the week is Sauce has 3 pass breakups and a pick in his first game. And he also has JT 115 and 2 tutties. Sir, what like it's a sick pick. It's a sick pick. One. Like, why are you the way that you are? Yes. So you know what? His Sauce, 3 pass breakups and a pick in his first game.
And both of those were one of them what I was going to say.
Was it though?
It really was. Now I was just going to say one interception for Sauce. I wasn't going to go that deep. But you know, Clyde's a nerd, so
he can't refute that because he's not here, but I'll go with that.
Oh, he can say anything he wants in the chat though.
So you know what? I'm going to say this because I've kind of been battling with Bears fans a little bit this week because Colston Loveland had a great game against a piss poor Bengals defense. So I'm going to say Tyler Warren, you can book him for over 45 yards and a touchdown.
Nice.
All right. And then for you, Pat, you said, what do you have?
Well, now I got to change it all up because the man that's on vacation again. And until I see content, it's a vacation. True. I don't see him working over there. I don't see him posting anything. Thomas is over there going live, building vlogs. What's Clyde doing? Drinking, having a good time. That dude's on vacation again. So I'll go with a Latu sack.
Latu sack? Yep. Are we just going with one or are we going with more than one?
Let's just go one this time.
So if the line is 1.5, you taking the under?
Say that again.
If the line is 1.5 for Latu sacks, you're taking the under?
I would take the under, yes. Okay.
All right. All right. And like I said, I know we got a lot of comments coming in now. Once again, welcome in everybody. I think there's a couple of people. Colts House was going on. He says JT for 3 tutties. 3 total tutties maybe because like I said, I think Ken said
he's going to want he's absolutely going to want a redemption game after last week. Absolutely. I can absolutely 100%. See JT going off. Tell him
I think he absolutely is going to go
Cancun Clyde.
Cancun Clyde is crazy. Cancun Clyde is
David, let's change his Twitter handle, would you?
Cancun Clyde. Cancun Colts Clyde is crazy. Like you got to say that 5 times fast. But But also, I will say, and I want to just answer this question before we get out of here because I got to go and just read all these things. And since Clyde's not here to interrupt me, I think I should be able to get to them pretty quickly. She said, "Is Sauce going to interfere with Kenny Moore's contract? How long is left on Kenny's contract?" So the great thing about Sauce's contract is that right now, this year, he will cost $625,000 against the cap. Very, very cheap deals, under $1 million. Next year, he will cost a total of $9.25 million for the entire year. His money doesn't start kicking in until the 2027-2028 year when it's like 20.6. And then he has the year after that is 26.1. And then after that, I believe it's 36.1 and 36.1 in the final 2 years, which he'll be 29 and 30. And those years, you'll be able to kind of go and move some money around. But once again, that's 4 years in the future. Kenny isn't due to be re-signed until 2027, the 2027 offseason. So we still do have another year with
the bigger threat to Kenny is Wally. You know, the young cornerback we drafted this year that blew an ACL in training camp. He's more a threat to Kenny. Jalen Jones is more of a threat to Kenny, even though he doesn't play nickel. You can stick him in there, you know. Yeah. So Sauce isn't the threat to Kenny. I
don't think. You know.
I would put more Wally and Kenny's age by the time he gets to this next contract, because I think he's got what'd you say, 2 more years?
No, he has the rest of this year, and then he has next season. He has to be re-signed in the 2027 off season. So
okay, so year and a half, I don't even know how old Kenny Moore is right now, but
I think Kenny's about 30. I think he's 30.
Yeah. So
yeah,
unfortunately, even nickelbacks get aged out.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, I'm glad that I'm not glad that happened, but I'm glad somebody brought it up. Hey, rest in peace to Marshawn Kneeland. He's a Cowboys player.
Hold on. How much you want to bet on that one? I will bet you any amount of money on this bet right here. Just
don't interrupt me when I'm giving somebody flowers that passed away. Like like I said, rest in peace to Marshawn Kneeland. He played for the Cowboys. They just drafted him. I think they just drafted him this year or last year. Looks like he passed away. Colts House, just send that money to Pat now.
Yeah, because he's got a neck injury and he's not playing.
Yeah, he's not playing. So quick score prediction so I can get us someone out of here.
God, I hate the score predictions. All right. 31-17 Colts.
You know what? I think I'm going to say 28-23 Colts for me. Hey, Colts House, you got to get a man the money already because that's. I mean, I don't even know if that's a void bet. Like,
how about that? How about this? You just come out to the tailgate next time you're in town. And we'll call it even.
There you go. Come out to the tailgate. That's how you break even. But yes, so once again, shout out to everybody who went and who's been in the comment section going off. We appreciate all of y'all. Sammy, thank you for that. You can find me on Twitter at CJ Colts Fan. Where can they find you?
At Colts Crow Eater, and proud of it.
All right. We love it. Also, please bring up the podcast page. Yes, make sure if you're not already following, go to @SigPodColts. That's where you'll be able to see see the clips of this show and other shows. You'll also be able to go to whatever platform you use from there so that you'll be able to find out how to subscribe on there. And also make sure that you're subscribing to the YouTube. We love everybody who's subscribed now. Make sure that you tell a friend to tell a friend to tell their mama to tell their daddy to go ahead and make sure that they're subscribing to the YouTube. Make sure that we get everybody on there. Make sure that we keep on running those numbers up. Also, you can find the replay of this episode on Z10. Well, I don't think it's this week on Z103.com. I think it might be next week because Monty's out of town. But you can always find us at Mix 105. Mix 105 does the rebroadcast on Wednesdays. 12 p.m. Central, 1 p.m. Eastern. And they also will be airing that show at 4 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Sundays. So that way, when you're up early getting ready for everything, like the lovely people in the Blue Crew lot do when they're making sure that they get that wonderful tailgate, getting everything prepared and smelling good, getting the drinks ready. Make sure that you listen to that to get you hyped up and get started. And you can also listen to us on VIP One Lounge Extra. You can hear those replays 5 o'clock UK time. That's 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So that way you'll be able to hear, like I said, those replays overseas as well. And then on top of that, please bring up the Visit Indy barcode. If you scan that Visit Indy barcode, that will take you to a plethora. Mind you, I'm using plethora. Fantastic word. It'll take you to a plethora of events that you'll be able to visit when you're in the Indianapolis area, whether it's games, restaurants, festivals, events, both for adults and children. You'll be able to look at all of that on the Visit Indy website. Like I said, just make sure that you scan that barcode. Make sure you have it bookmarked. I'm not sure if they have an app, but if they do, make sure that you download that as well so you can see that information. And please bring up Fitballer. Thank you for that. And so, also, Colts fans, this one's for you. Do this ASAP, all right? Because this is the last time I'm going to tell you. You don't say I didn't warn you. Fitballer and Sick Podcast Anvil Show are giving away a signed Tyler Warren jersey. This is signed by Tyler Warren himself. They're giving away a signed Tyler Warren jersey. All you have to do is scan that QR code right there, or there should be a link that's going to be in the show notes, I believe on the YouTube page, where you can go and just fill out the quick Google form, and you're in. So the winner will be announced I think the winner will be picked on November 10th, and then we'll be announcing it when we go live next Tuesday on November 11th. So make sure that you fill that out, because once it gets to November 10th, you're done. I don't want to hear it. Like, oh, I didn't get my information in. Too bad. So just like I said, make sure that you get that in as soon as possible. And also, this is sponsored by Fitballer, the football fitness app built for guys and ladies, depending on what you choose, who want to be part of a team and get healthy again. All right. So make sure that you do that. Do not say, oh, I didn't get a chance to sign up. I didn't know that you were giving away Tyler Warren jersey. Yeah, it's bullshit. I don't want to hear it. Okay, listen, get that in before November 10th so that you can enter for a chance to win yours. With that being said, anything else you got, Pat?
Nope. Enjoy the game.
All right.
Get plenty of sleep
fantastic.
Sunday night.
There you go. I would make sure I stop you before you actually did get a thought, and then we'd be here for another 5 minutes. So, hey, everybody have a great weekend. Go Colts. Make sure that we are going to be there super early, 9:30 Eastern, 8:30 a.m. Central for this game. We love y'all. Sammy, take us out.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast Anvil Show on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.